been never duplicated or imitated, Cheryl Fettig. Cheryl, come on up.
Thank you. So, my name is Cheryl Fettig. Some of you know me already. I'm a lifelong resident of Rego Park. I'm a homeowner. I went to the schools in this neighborhood. It used to be a fairly safe neighborhood. My parents used to be able to send me to the playground by myself and know I was safe. Now the proposal is from the city to put 100 men who need supervision next to 2 playgrounds and elementary schools. What are they thinking? They are not thinking. They're pushing it through the community board, they're pushing it through the other community boards, and making sure that we don't know the details of what's happening. We have to demand of our government officials, of our city government, that we know exactly what we're facing and that they include us in their decision-making process. Not hide from us. Why are they hiding from us? I believe that we may need to go to court. I believe that we need to stand together as a community. Someone came up to me earlier today and said, well, there's all these negative comments on Facebook. There are people who are going to make millions and millions of dollars on this. They have ulterior motives. There are people who have agenda items. This is part of their agenda, to house the homeless. I believe in helping the homeless and helping those in need. But we have to really help those people with real housing, not make-believe hotels for them, where it's just temporary, where it's millions and millions of dollars and they won't really be helped and the community will be hurt. And there are political competitions going on. So this is what's behind those negative ideas, those negative expressions. They are not really sincere for our community, in my opinion. They are not really even sincere to help the homeless, because they're not really helping the homeless. They're sticking them into warehouses, not providing. Well, do they have the ability in this hotel to give them 3 meals a day for 100 men? Where are they going to use what facilities are they going to use in order to do that? Our neighborhood facilities, our neighborhood restaurants? I'm not sure. I've spoken to various police officers in the area, and they've told me they get called here now because there are a few men, even though they haven't opened the homeless shelter yet. And every other day they're called to come down, already with only a handful of men. In May, they plan to open officially. That was the announcement. We have to act before May to try to stop them. I need you, all of us, to work together, to work with us, to work together as a community. They've cut up our neighborhood in little pieces so they could say, you're in this district, you're in that district. No, we're in one community together. It's all right, somebody will get it. And we need to work together and not listen to the nonsense, but demand the information and demand our voice. Make our voice strong for our neighborhoods so we have decent neighborhoods and safe neighborhoods for our children. Thank you for coming down. Thank you. But this is just the beginning. And I'm leaving out an important point. In my view, this is a test, in a way, to see what they can push through without telling us, informing us, questioning us, considering our needs, the agenda items versus the needs of us as real people. And we better stop it now. We better stand up and express ourselves now. Thank you.
No more shelter. Okay. So, thank you, Malika, for those words. She was quite explicit about what we will be doing. It's important that everyone sign up because we're going to plan a series of other events, and we might have to take this show on the road and maybe do a protest in front of the owner of this hotel. Maybe he'll understand that the community is really upset, and send a message to all these operators who just look at these community buildings and hotels as money makers with complete disregard for communities. We're not against anyone pursuing the American dream and being entrepreneurs, but you should not do that by negatively impacting communities. And so we'll stand against that. With us today also is a group called Parents in Action. I already told you about the sex offenders that we have living less than a mile away at the other homeless shelter. We don't know who's coming here. We don't know if they're going to put 30 or 40 sex offenders right here. We don't know that because they didn't tell us at the Holiday Inn, but they did it. So we have to ask the questions and we have to be vigilant. So we have here today with us Mr. Rolando Bini from Parents in Action.
Thank you. My name is Rolando Bini. I'm an immigrant from Latin America. Like many of us are immigrants here, living more than 50 years in this beautiful city. I'm the director of a community-based organization, Parents in Action. Actually, Parents in Action for Leadership and Human Rights, two important things. I'm very concerned how our communities are deteriorating. The quality of life has gone down slowly, and there is plenty of dirty, low-life politicians and elected officials who are making deals behind our back without consulting our community. That's unacceptable. We have children, we are family people, we are very concerned having shelters, too many in our community. Let's put a shelter in Wall Street, another in Forest Hill, and let's be fair. We don't need that many shelters in the community. Our children will be in danger. We can see a lot of also mentally ill people who live in those shelters, who attack people. It's insane. We are going down the drain, so please, let's get united, spread the word. We need to stop. We don't need these shelters. We need affordable housing. If the dirty politicians were really concerned about people, they will do affordable housing with about $9,000 a month for a hotel room. You could buy a house. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Rolando. Can you imagine living right here, next door, and the city or the agency never even told you that this was happening? In fact, the people who live here found out because of us. What we did, handing out flyers. Their elected official didn't tell them. The city didn't tell them. The owner of the Wyndham or the operator of the Wyndham didn't tell them. And suddenly they found out that the apartment that they bought and invested for and fought and paid mortgage and real estate taxes is going to be exactly next door to a homeless shelter. How unfair was that? I don't see the city telling that building that they're going to get tax-free as long as the shelter's here. They won't say that. You still have to pay your taxes and pay your mortgage and your common charges, but everyone living here is going to live here for free. So we have with us today one of the residents that lives right here and is directly impacted. And he wants to share his sentiment. I can only imagine what it is. I want you to welcome Mr. Josh. Josh, come on up.
Good afternoon, guys. Hi, how are you? Yeah, we're affected greatly. I have kids, I have family. We're all on this side of the building, directly next to the shelter, where they have a patio and place to sit for the visitors that were here originally last year. We never had any privacy concerns. People are great. They come to the hotel, they leave it nice. But recently, about a couple months ago, they just it's just like they steamrolled over us. When they put all of these men on this side, because I saw already they removed the beds. All the beds in the hotel, I believe, have already been removed. What I can see now are 2 to 3 cots. From my window, I can see into their window, and from their window, they can see into our window. Everybody here, from probably the 3rd floor up until wherever. You can see from the street, wherever. Are they going to allow these men to come out here? Because there's nothing guarding between the building and the hotel. They can walk right over. There's a parking lot up here that's private. We all pay for our spots. It's private. I have a vehicle up there, and I'm worried. I'm gonna have to lock my car doors. I'm gonna have to keep my eye on this every day when they're here. And believe it, when I see something, I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna take pictures, and I'm gonna send it to whoever I need to send it to. I'm gonna keep documenting as long as it takes. Secondly, this is a garage entrance to our building. That is private also. If anybody has a good idea what's going to happen when they're here, they're going to be standing. They're going to be watching, and this is going to cause concern because I don't know what type of day people are having, but I come home from work late sometimes. I come home from work early sometimes. If they see what's coming in, they're going to want to see more. I don't know how far it's going to get, but now we should really have more CCTV out here to see what's really going to be going on when nobody's looking. I don't know if theirs are working. I don't know if ours are working. We need to really get that straightened out. I've taken pictures already of people with cars coming into our building and just using the parking when that's against right here because it's trespassing. They're not supposed to be in here. Also, in the front of the building, there's places that they can sit, maybe sleep. There's guys that sleep under that overpass right there that we've had problems with. In front of Queens Boulevard, they sit on the corner and they beg, you know. They have their signs out and they sit there. And they sit there and sit there. Right across is the post office, and the post office also, they have people sleeping on the sidewalks and sitting there when it gets warm in the summertime. This is going to add more to that. I don't know, I hope not, but it could happen. Also the park over here, I take my kids there. I can count a few times I had to leave there because there's men in there with no shoes on, sleeping on the benches, smoking weed, doing whatever, sitting there. It's not right. There should be more health and hygiene around, you know, when these men come in here, okay? Because it's not going to help. You have a bunch of men that are going to be standing out here. Women are going to be walking back and forth. We don't know if they're going to be catcalling, harassing women, the seniors that walk back and forth here, the kids. It's just not a safe feeling, okay? I moved from a place where I had plenty of this. A lot of the parks were disasters, and even after the parks were rebuilt, there was still, you know, what was left over there. People knew, you know, and it's really hard for the kids, you know, and I don't want my kids growing up around it all the time. 100 men, and just from today heard registered men not too far away from here that are pedos and sex offenders. And it's crazy. It's crazy. It doesn't belong here. I mean, do they have background checks when the DHS and DSS put them over here? I don't think any of them are thinking about us. I think sometimes they just see this building and think they could just throw whoever they want over here. And man, I'm just not looking at this like it's going to be something great because I really don't think it's going to be great for us, especially that we live right here. And it's going to be just a lot more stress than we have to deal with. No more shelter. No more shelters. 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 And let me just say one more thing too. If they do get security over here, what's that going to do? They're not going to be able to do anything. They're not going to help them. It's just bad, and then the police too. I mean, they're going to be getting calls over here. It's man, ambulances too. We don't know if any of them are emotionally distressed at all times. We don't know because we don't communicate with these people. We're working, you know, we're living, we're raising families. They're just throwing it right on top of us. They're going to steamroll us all the time. We have to just keep coming. We have to keep speaking. We have to keep showing up. We have to keep showing them that we care for our families, for the community, and we just have to keep showing up. We have to keep giving back. We have to keep helping.
Thank you, Josh. All right, so we're going to be wrapping it up in a minute. Final parting thoughts are, don't get discouraged. That's what they want. They get you discouraged and you don't come to the rally, and they want you to go home, watch TV and Netflix and forget about everything. But that's not what we're going to do. No. Get involved in your community board. Find out when the community board is meeting. There should be 500 people going to the community board and saying, we need the community board to stand strong with the community. Do you know that they're going to open up another family shelter across the street on Queens Boulevard? Behind the post office. I don't know how they figured that they should put a family shelter across the street from a single men's shelter. I don't understand that at all. So we're going to continue to bring the message out. We need everyone to sign in so that we can contact you for the next action that we will be taking, which we are planning as we speak. The last thing I'm going to ask everyone to do is everyone to come over here closer. Everyone from the back. Come on over. I want to say thank you for standing up for yourselves. Sometimes it's not that easy. And sometimes we think no one's there for us. But there are. Look around. These neighbors all came out. We're supporting each other. And that's important. We need to continue to do that.
So everybody's homework here. Tell your neighbors, tell your friends. Let's try to bring 1, 2 extra people. Everybody who's here, thank you very much. My mom Joyce came. Lorraine came. It's like a stepmom to me. So you guys know my story. My great-grandparents settled here in 1940 on Queens Boulevard. There were deer, rabbits, a long time ago. I got deep roots here. I'm a homeowner. My mother taught public school here for 31 years. I have a child. So basically, we're all here to stop this nonsense. I want to thank Phil Wong for coming out from Councilman Holden's office. Obviously, Mr. Gennaro is not here. He'll respond to me and talk to me, but they won't show up. Lynn Shulman, MIA her whole career, so we don't even have to mention her. Boo to her, enemies of the community. And to all the folks at Community Board 6 that spoke for us and then told me on the phone that they were misquoted, that they're for having our neighborhood do our fair share. F you, Community Board 6. We don't need this here. You live next to it. For all our community members here who live in this building, let's pray for them. Nobody wants to live near this monstrosity. It's terrible. My mom used to take me and my little brother to that park. That park's not going to be safe anymore. That's a senior center, and that's a community center for our community, Lost Battalion. Now, it's under renovation, but it will open up again. What are we going to have here when our women, our seniors, and our children are walking by here? The park's already a crap hole. The neighborhood's a crap hole. Look underneath here. I've never seen this neighborhood so dysfunctional, so dirty, with so much garbage walking around here. The crime, the filth. So I'm a big believer of sticking with people who stick by us. Remember who's here. I say this all the time, but I'm very passionate. Remember who's not here. So Cheryl's here. Give it up for Hiram, because he organizes this. Give him a big round of applause. He came here, and our own council person was here. The other one who let this happen on her watch, useless showman, so on and so on. I can name everybody else here. They haven't done nothing. They don't want to come here. They don't want to help us. Somebody's making money on it. Hopefully some journalists out here will figure out and connect the dots, cross the T's. But let's remember who stood with the community. Let's remember who didn't. And when you guys go out and vote, remember remember these people's faces who are here. These are the people we have to stand with, because the people that are currently holding seats, they don't give a shit about anybody here. And it's a fact. So, it's a fact. No more shelters. We don't want these people here. 100 single men. We got children. We got wives. We have seniors. They're already not safe. Put 100 men here. You just put this neighborhood in such jeopardy. This neighborhood will not be safe. I don't want my mother walking around. I don't want my wife, my little girl work. I don't want my stepmom, Lorraine, I don't want her walking around this neighborhood. So let's stand strong. Reach out to our elected officials. Email them, call them, harass them. And remember the people who are here, they give a crap, the rest of them don't. And I thank everybody for coming out here. No more shelters. Rego Park United.